Welcome to another episode of More Than Dice. I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
Welcome to episode 252. Today we're going to be talking about some RPG stuff I got to show off because it's going to be kind of neat. We're going to be talking about some painting and some model collecting, which if you listened into the pre-ramble, we kind of got started on that. I thought it would be another cool subject to go over, which we'll put it in there because we actually started going and we started rambling and started podcasting type
Started
thing.
topicking, yeah.
Yeah. So before we do that, we want to thank Turbo Dork for their awesome metallic paints and color shifting paints. Make sure you check them out at Adepticon. They have a new paint coming out just during Adepticon for a limited time and limited supplies. We want to thank Midnight Heroes. Their Kickstarter is still ongoing. They're over, I think they just opened up over 3,000 so far. So we got some cool new stuff coming. Want to thank
They
Muse
get
on me.
STLs you can get with the Kickstarter. Only time you can get it.
Oh, only time you can get the STLs. We thank Muse on Minis for hosting, and they will definitely be at Adepticon, so you can go pick up some cool stuff there. And if you like cool widgets and tokens, we want to thank Parabellum War Games, makers of Conquest. They are having some big events happening at Adepticon, but if you like their models, you can get a pretty big discount code using their stuff.
Actually, all these guys, if you like what they got, we got discount codes for all of them.
Yep.
Check out the chat.
Check it out. You can go get some cool stuff cheap. Kind of helps us out too. I think we got everybody. I think so. So we have a few shout outs. For now, which I have to have a conversation with them at Adepticon, see what they are saying and stuff. Because I have stuff I'm waiting. I'm like, I want to do this.
Yeah, but yeah, understand they're getting ready for Adepticon. That's important stuff. So
yeah, we gotta get they gotta do their business. We're little business, but they gotta do the big business. So shout outs this week. Lance Reddick. That was his last name. I can't remember if it was Lance Reddick or not.
yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
That was a kind of a shocker.
Only 60.
Yeah, and I remember him from all the shows he's been in and his voice and so on and so forth. And everybody had really good tributes to him. Kind of came out of the blue and stuff, but it was kind of a shocker to me. I was like, oh, damn. He was really cool. Had some really cool stuff. The heck? What's wrong with that screen? Got a screen issue. But got that one. Any other shout outs anybody knows about? Make sure you put it in the chat. We'll make sure to do it.
Yeah, I've got to.
Go for it.
I had two friends pass this week. My buddy Mike Soros, who we knew as Dark Knight from our old BBS days, or Chaos Mike, because he played Chaos, died of a heart attack. He was 50. I didn't hang out with him much recently, but we were together a lot back in the day, and he was always considered the crazy guy, but actually was not crazy at all. He was a very good, cool stand-up dude. And then another buddy, Phil Wisniewski, who was one of my old MTG and all those games crew, role-playing crew for the longest time back in the Mint Card Company days, back, when all that stuff started. He came in sort of from the other side of town when we bought that store and was the manager there. I was the manager at the Glen Burnie store. We hung out a lot. We're really close for a while, and he died. He was also just about 50, and I haven't gotten a confirmation, but I'm pretty sure it was a stroke or heart attack as well.
I'm sorry to hear that. Guys, we appreciate everything and everybody. Make sure you say hi. Make sure you give everything. Make sure you give hugs. John, what are you drinking before we give this cheer out?
Well, I'm going to do the cheers with some of my Australian whiskey I got here, and then afterwards I've got a gin mule.
I am doing it. I am doing some Remy Martin XO. Brought that bottle out. I was like, this is an appropriate time. So, guys, like I says, if you see something, say something. If you need anything, make sure that you reach out, talk to everybody. We're here. We can talk. We can hang out, do whatever. Hey, if you want to play a game, get with me. I mean, I'm playing a survival game right now, but you can join me on that server if you'd like. Cheers.
Cheers.
Whew, man, that is really good. So as still continuing on the RPG, random RPGs, I got two in. I didn't do it last week, so I'm doing it this week because I was waiting for the other one to come in. And I got my first book, and it's a pretty good sized book, 128 pages, softback, and GURPS Atlantis.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
GURPS books are the best source material. Absolutely.
So, I mean, I never got to play GURPS. I know about GURPS. I never got to play it.
I would advise against it.
Yeah. But this source book, I mean, it's got a ton of shit in here. There's like no charts, hardly any stats. It's like all information. And it's in really good shape. I mean, this thing is perfect shape.
Yeah, the back will usually have the stats, but they'll put a bunch of stuff in the beginning. Like back in the day when I would get, like when I got Wild Cards, or reading the Wild Cards novels. I don't know if you guys have ever read those. GURPS did a source book for it, and I got that too, and it helps piece together all the stuff, especially for a series like that that's a bunch of short stories.
Yeah.
And Pete get it together so you can see the bigger picture of all the things maybe you missed, especially because I was younger. It's great. Something like Atlantis is great because it's going to put together a bunch of mythologies together to give you ideas for putting something like that in your game.
Yeah, I mean, because it covers high tech, low tech, different timelines. I mean, this was first edition, first printing May 2001. So I thought that was kind of cool. I was like, neat. I'll probably find somebody that may want it and send it to them.
That's the perfect thing to get in that kind of set, like I said, because it's great source material. You might even find you need it before you give it away. Who knows? Comes to mind.
This one came through, and I was really, really shocked about it. What's the date on this? 1988.
Oh shit.
Another Steve Jackson. It came with instant characters on how to make instant characters and a little pamphlet. And it's another GURPS product.
Yeah. I could tell by the pamphlet.
And I think I'm going to give this to a good friend of ours that hopefully I get to see her this coming week because this will be just right up her alley. And it is Conan Beyond Thunder River single player RPG. And it is like a choose your adventure RPG.
That's really cool. But honestly, I feel like a low tech thing like Conan might be exactly up GURPS' alley.
Yeah. So pretty much what it is you create your character. You can use Conan. He's in the back. So you could use his character, you know, he's got all the stats written down and everything for him. And you choose your adventure. You're like, oh, it's going to be hard to see, but all these little numbers, and it says, all right, you did this, go to this number. All these old choose your RPG stuff. And I'm like, this is actually really cool because it's a single character campaign. You roll dice, so on and so forth. And you just do whatever, and you roll on whatever it says. It says if you do this, roll that, and then it has maps in the back of like your play areas of where you're gonna, you know, combat happens, and so on and so forth. And I was like, I've never even seen or heard about this, and I was like, this is kind of cool. It's got all the stats of the monsters.
Back in those days, there was a Choose Your Adventure I had that was like a superhero role-playing game. Like you had to roll dice at certain points. I don't remember the name of it. It's been a very long time, but that was a thing for a while. It was really cool.
But I mean, it tells you how to give yourself
track of it. Yeah.
It tells you how to give yourself experience points at the end. If you did this, get this. If you did this, get this. You know, give yourself so many points so you can level your character up and continue on to another. So I'm guessing there is a bunch more of these little solo adventure books out there. But I mean, this is like copyright 1988.
Yeah.
So I thought this was kind of cool.
Now Steve Jackson is like one of the forgotten like great role playing companies. Like people like discount them, but they did so much for early role playing and wargaming, like Ogre, Car Wars.
Oh
That's
yeah.
fucking all Steve Jackson. Like the one thing I regret, like from Kickstarter wise, is I could not get into the Ogre GEV Kickstarter because I loved Ogre. That was just fun game. It brought me into the shit like squad leader like wargaming that was very cool. Because back then when I'm younger, I wasn't really into World War II like I would be now. But boy, if I didn't like some high tech science fiction with hovercrafts and artillery units and shit. Actually, I think that'd be a good way to play it. You could do BattleTech like that too, even.
Hmm.
But I mean, now they got Alpha Strike, you don't need to. But it was still hex based. It's very cool. I think I still have all of my Ogre GV stuff. I had like a box set of them. I think I had Car Wars too, but never really did much Car Wars.
I did some Car Wars, and we laugh. I laugh about it because we were doing the arena stuff. It was just fun, blow each other up. But it
Hmm.
was we decided that we were going to buy a van, and we were going to put all of our guns on the left side of the vehicle, and everybody sat on the left side of the vehicle because we were going to put all the armor on the left side of the vehicle, and then drive around with our right side against the wall, pretty much.
Yep.
So no one could hit us on our right side. It worked for a little bit until someone knocked us around and, we had to get back to our right side of the wall. But I thought this was kind of cool. And this little quick starter character sheet, how to make quick characters and everything, just
Yeah.
buying
Well, because
points
you're
and
not getting the
everything.
full GURPS with that, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's that is the basics of GURPS characters. I think it even came with the GURPS book I got for quick start stuff way back. I don't think I still have the GURPS book. I still have a couple of the supplements because they're good.
And
But
there's like this questionnaire in here that I thought was kind of interesting. GURPS questionnaire. How do you like GURPS? Amazing, so, almost amazing. Wasted my money. Okay. How easy to learn the system? How did you learn to play? How easy is it to play? What's your age? What following products that you would buy? Are you sci-fi based or adventure based or gameplay or large scale combat? Just all these little things you can turn
I
it
mean
in and you would get new
that's
stuff.
because that's pre internet as we know it. So
Yeah,
they need to have some way of polling people.
yeah. Do you have a computer? If so, does your computer have a modem? And if so, do you call bulletin board services? Do you call online services?
And in
CompuServe,
'88,
PC Link.
holy moly, in '88.
Yeah.
I don't even think I called bulletin board services in '88. That was pretty early.
When you think of Steve Jackson games, what comes to mind? Honesty counts, but don't be afraid to hurt our feelings. This is old classic,
Yeah.
It's got character sheet, the maps, um, turn it in so you can, it's got NPC cards, so you can make NPC cards, all the skills. I thought this was kind of a cool little thing. But I thought this was even cooler because I've never knew that there was a solo adventure Conan stuff. And if I see our special friend this week, she will get that. If not, I will make sure she gets it because that's right up her alley.
Oh yeah.
Definitely would be something that she would get into and like. I did find it funny. Someone had wrote on the inside that they were selling it for $4. I'm not sure what this would have sold for retail when it came out because there's not a retail price on here. So I have no clue. You can tell that someone's used the back of the book to do some markings and stuff because there's all these hashes and stuff. But I'm kind of curious what
Oh
this
yeah,
sold
yeah.
at retail. Someone find that out. Conan,
Wait.
Beyond Thunder River. What was the retail price of it when it came out in 1988? But this is pretty cool. I was very impressed by this. Will I'd still do it? Probably not, because it's just kind of fun. But for the most part, yeah, cool. I'm okay.
I couldn't tell you what it cost back in the day, but it looks like maybe $16 back in the day, and MSRP is currently $19.95.
Yeah, I could see this being a $20 book.
Yeah.
Even though $20 back then is $20.
I mean, $16 back then. I mean, role playing stuff hasn't gone us up nearly as much as people want to say it has,
Correct.
with the exception of like the hardback for the big boys. Like the softback books from the little boys is still
Yeah.
pretty much probably under inflation, honestly. But like the big boys, and also, I mean, sure, what did you pay for D&D hardcovers back in the day?
Yeah.
2025.
I mean,
I
and
mean,
the
they're a bit
artwork on the
expensive
cover,
now, but hey,
classic 80s artwork.
oh yeah, classic Conan. Yeah.
Yeah. Classic Conan 80s artwork type thing. So, thought that was kind of interesting. That came in yesterday. So, I was like, oh, I can talk about two of those things. Type stuff. So, for the people that weren't, that didn't watch the pre-ramble, we started talking, or not there, we started talking about thinning our collections, is the best way to put it. So I'm looking at all my stuff and I'm like, I don't play this anymore, but I don't need all these models. I don't play this anymore, don't need all these models. It's not stuff that I'm going to keep because of cool factor, but it could get used somewhere else.
Well, it reminds me of a statement that that Nathan Hoffman from what the hell podcast was that? From that old podcast about War Machine of Hordes. I forget the fucking name of it.
I have no clue.
My brain hurts. Anyways, what he said about something, if you haven't touched it in a year, you should probably get rid of it. But I don't quite do that, but if you haven't touched it in 2 years, if it's got a good layer of dust on it, you might want to think about getting rid of it. You're probably not that attached to it anymore. You should at least be considering it at that point. You should probably do a yearly spring cleaning and go, okay, what have I not touched?
Yeah.
And then decide, am I keeping it if it doesn't bring you joy? Yeah, I was trying to avoid that necessarily, but like sometimes you're like, I had my fourth edition D&D books on a shelf, and like they're not. I'm like, I don't feel a need to get rid of them. Maybe I'll use them someday. Spoiler, I'm using them now. But I did say to myself, they're not moving with me. If I move again, they're not coming.
Yeah.
Some of those hardback books, if they're not current, like it ain't worth it.
Well, I mean,
now, if we use them enough, maybe.
yeah. I mean, like I says, I have a bunch of MCP stuff that I'm not going to use at all. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to donate those as prize support for Warfare Weekend, for the MCP stuff that's happening there. I've got some old Judgment models, the first edition stuff. I may keep them, I may not. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Because I did compare, because the Judgment 2.0 is out and people are getting their Kickstarters, and so I saw the map and put the model on there, and yeah, they're way bigger than the new ones, but
yeah, but they're good painting fodder. Like
correct.
Also, we have this thing of we'll just throw stuff, we'll just get rid of stuff, but sometimes you just need to go on eBay or find someone who's going on eBay and be like, let's work a deal. Like for a while, I was working with the old store owner from Drop Zone Games. I'm like, hey, I give you the stuff, you eBay it. We split the profits.
Yeah.
And that's super in his favor. He's got to do just the online work. He doesn't have to. He didn't pay anything for the product.
Correct. And and that's what I might do, because these models, the Judgment first models are great models. There's nothing wrong with those models, but I'm not even in no way going to do anything with it. The rule books and all that stuff. There's like one or two models I'm going to keep out of it that I like. So I just want to worry about it. Like I've got some Riot Quest stuff. I'm not going to play Riot Quest.
I might play Riot. I would play Riot Quest, but there's no one to play with. That's like I would, but
yeah.
Book wise, like almost a year ago now, I got rid of most of my old War Machine of Hordes books. Like respectfully, the stories in them aren't good enough to keep them. They're not bad by any stretch. They're good for a war game product, but they're not like enticing enough that I need to keep them. So I kept the Mercenary book for myself, and then I kept the Rhett book for my buddy Frank, and then threw the rest away, just right in the recycling. Psh, get out of here. I ain't got space for that shit. Sometimes you got to do that. If something's obsolete and no one's playing it that way anymore, just get the fuck rid of it.
Yeah.
Different with role-playing games, because if you have enough books, you don't need anyone else to get into it. You could just play it based off your books. But like for a war game, anything where you're playing with other people, ostensibly as a pickup game, potentially at a store, just get rid of it.
Let's see what else.
Nerd
Um,
City, huh?
there's just, I mean, so like, X-wing. Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah, we've tried so many times to get X-Wing started. It's just never really starts. You always start playing like, yeah, this is cool. Then it gets to the middle of the game and it bogs down. And you're like, fuck, bog down phase.
Yep.
You know, some things are a little too maneuverable compared to how killy it is, so it takes too long. The competitive scene with it is not good.
Yeah. I mean, I
And even
have.
like the casual scene, since they changed stuff with Mark II, is not great. I mean, right now it's just taking up a box. I could put it all up in one box, so it's not going to take up a ton of space. So that could just
Correct.
squirrel away in the closet. But you know,
Well, and I also have like all my Kador. Like I was telling John, I'm probably not going to play my Kador anymore. And I can just, and it's a crap ton of Kador. I mean, a shit ton of Kador. I have like 2 to 3 of everything or more, depending on what it is. And I'm
hmm
like, just gonna eBay that out at a very cheap price because it's a shit ton of models.
yeah.
Um,
Well, when my buddy Bowie was playing, he's like, John, I need to borrow your World Wrath. Sure. I handed it to him and said, you don't have to give it back when you're done. It's yours.
but I mean, I have a
Not gonna
ton
do
of
me
that
any
stuff.
good. Just get it out of here.
But
It's taking
like,
up lots of space. I'd rather save space for games I'm going to play. I think when you go through your stuff, like a good spring cleaning stuff, and spring's right around the corner, so this is a
yep,
good topic. You should go through your stuff and decide, want to play it very much, keep it. Not sure? Well, put that in a separate pile. Maybe you get little stickers like they do for yard sales and all, and just sticker it a color. Next year when you go back, if it's still there, maybe you're like, I haven't touched it, fucking get it out of here. And then the stuff you're like, I'm not gonna play this. Like, I'm not gonna have 3 or 4 factions for War Machine Hordes, a game that I'm not probably ever going to play. I'll keep the stuff I got, the rest can just go away.
yeah. I mean, because I've got like Arena Rex. Arena Rex, I have like 10 models.
10 models. 10
I'm
models.
I'm okay holding on
Yeah.
to those.
If it takes a tray of a figure case and that's it, like an old standard GW one, it's fine.
Yeah. But I mean, my Kador takes up like 4 battle foam boxes, and I'm like, yeah, I could use
Nope.
those for other models. I could put all my BattleTech in a good, size thing, and then I could, use that, and then I could take my other models and do some smaller
I won't.
stuff.
I won't tell you how many empty GW figure cases I have.
Yeah,
It's significant.
yeah,
Empty. Not to mention the full ones. But yeah, we're talking like it's like Infinity. Like every game we get into it, we have this habit of getting way too far into it. So at some point, you're like, I don't need all those models. Start thinning it out. What do I have here that I don't need? Get it out of here.
yeah, yeah. I've got an
Isn't that whenever
Infinity
someone
Army.
like, we'll get that stuff to actually, funny Mo, I have one of the ones that actually, or two of the ones that actually were actual gun cases where GW just sold the extra foam with it. So you bought a gun case and it had the foam and it was shrink wrapped together, and you take the gun case foam out and you put the GW foam in. I've got a couple of those cases around here. One's got my Blood Bowl, which will not go away because it's a fully painted team.
I see that's something you
Um,
could keep. You can
Not
keep. That's what 15 models.
one case.
Yeah,
Every model I could possibly play for the team, Gonzo.
oh.
Every model.
But I mean, that's something
All the
that's.
star players, including the old ones.
But I mean, you're not holding on to people that
Yeah,
have
it's
like,
one figure case.
yeah. If you're talking about Age of Sigmar, 40K,
Yeah,
that's
no,
one army is a shit ton of models,
it's a lot of space.
a lot of space. And my Kador is like that because I bought, I have
Yeah,
everything. So I'm like,
yeah.
I have no problem getting
You
rid of
gotta
that.
decide. I mean, some things you can keep because of space. Some things you have to get rid of because it takes up too much space and you're not going to use it.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out, like, if you've got multiple 40K armies, you're not playing 40K right now. Do you need them all?
Especially the new edition coming out.
Though I will say something that Gonzo's bad at, but I will mention everyone else. If you've painted an army, maybe think about keeping it. I have very rarely not regretted getting rid of a painted army, just because when an edition comes out, it's still a painted fucking army. You could just drop down and play. Granted, at some points it's what it is. What it is. Sometimes, depending on how well you paint, you can get a good value for it, or sometimes it's need. One of mine I had to sell because I needed a mattress for my wife. Worked,
Yep.
you know. Regretted a little bit, but not a lot. But you decide that, your hobbies move on, what games you did move on, you know. Keep the stuff that you really want, Like I would never get rid. I have a sculpted Ashland that uh, Captain Spud from Lost Hemisphere fame, if you count that as fame, sculpted for me as a commission. I'm not getting rid of that. I'm keeping that
Yeah.
forever. It's on a better paint job. I spent a lot of time on it trying to make it look good. I feel like it looks pretty good. Keeping it forever.
Well, I mean, I
Is
had
Ashland
some.
in the new edition? I don't fucking know. Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't care.
But I mean, like, there's some models that I kept. Like, I got rid of my Trollblood army a long time ago, but this was Trollblood was painted by a friend of mine. I'm keeping that one.
Some things have sentimental value.
Yeah.
That's why we get the cases. Why do you have that one troll model? Well, so and so painted that for me. Means something. I have one assembled and painted 40K model. It's a Phoenix Sword Corandrus because L. Marshall painted that and gave it to me. So it's still sitting in the case because I like it. Is it still the current model for that particular Phoenix Sword? Yes. Thanks, GW. He gave it to me last century. It's still the current model. Yeah. It's old enough. It's almost old enough to run for president.
But I mean, I've just been looking at stuff and I'm like, yeah, that's taking up a lot of space. I could put
Yeah.
other stuff in that space.
Well, yeah, you look at like the stuff, like the game books. Like, do I need all these old game books? How many editions of old 40K do I need? Yeah, Mo, I felt old this week a lot.
Talking about game books, I found a place that takes old game books and they give you store credit, and I'm like, and they will pay to ship them to them. I'm like, oh, even better, because you just
I've
tell them
done
what
that
you
too.
have.
What's the name of that company? They're still around. Noble Knight Games.
Yep, that's exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah, Noka plays. They were great. Like back in the old days, they were doing a bunch of card game stuff. I had a bunch of it was a case topper for the Star Wars card game, and I'm like, don't need these anymore. Not doing too much. I sent them to them, and they're like, here's our offer. I'm like, well, they're going for this much on eBay. They're like, here's our revised offer. I'm like, that's more than fair now. Take it.
Yep.
It was a good experience. Like, I understand them going to get an offer, and maybe they don't check eBay every day. Back then, because it was a while ago. It was the 2000s. Like, it was actually probably 2000. Thinking about it, so but they're a good company. You can do that with some things. Maybe your local game store carries that stuff. Maybe you can advertise it on Facebook marketplaces. Just look for places to get rid of it. You don't necessarily have to get a lot for it.
No.
But me and a buddy in the UK were talking, and some guy was like, I'll buy it for this much. And it's like, that's not even postage, dude. Get the fuck out of here with that. Like, you want to get a good deal, but you have to understand where the guy's coming from. If he's posting it to you, you should be expecting to pay something and then postage on top of it.
Yeah.
Realistic expectations, because you can go to those places, you can get a good deal if you're looking for something old. There's a bunch of old stuff I'd like to get that I would happily get, if it's the right price.
Well, I mean, like, there's something that I bought, and it's for nostalgia reasons. I rebought all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Palladium game books.
When am I coming over to play?
And
Seriously. You just said to me, John, I bought one of the only 2 Palladium Games books that's worth really fucking playing.
yeah, I bought
great.
it. Oh yeah, yes they do, Bose. They still do buy old books. They you fill out a form of what it is and like condition, and then they send it back, and then they actually tell you, and they said they'll actually pay it to be shipped. But no, I bought all the old TMNT source books, everything else, the old Palladium, and it's like 8 or 9 books. And someone had them for sale on eBay really cheap, and I was like, I can't buy. And that's just a good old nostalgia thing. Is it going to take up space? Probably about 6 inches of book space, type stuff.
More than that.
Yeah, but I mean, I was like
Being familiar with all those books intimately.
Yeah, I don't know if I have all of them, but I have a good portion of them at least.
Yeah, nine's close enough to all of them. You might be missing a couple of the hard to get ones, like After the Bomb or Hogs. Those are both hard to get.
I think I have both of those.
Excellent. Then A couple. There's a couple in there that are usually either you get the early ones like that, or you get the later ones like Transdimensional and Mutants in Orbit. Yeah, Ford. The TMNT game is it shows off everything good about the Palladium system because they're not worried about their I don't know how should I put it the sort of cookie cutter mold they get into later. It just works. You're not worried about it because it's not unbalanced or it's unbalanced equally. Who fucking cares? It's good old school role playing. It's like when
Yeah.
you play first edition D&D, and to a point you're not worried about unbalanced.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mose.
it's super fun character creation. Honestly, a lot of those old games that are super random are fun, even though we're not playing it anymore. The character creation for Mechton Zeta, my party had a fucking hoot going through to a point, and I miss that a little bit. There's a little too focused nowadays, to change the subject, unfortunately, on things being super equal. Points by or this or that, which are fine, but who fucking cares? We're playing a role playing game. Things don't have to be equal.
No, I
Do you
remember
think were all the
making
characters
games.
from Lord of the Rings equal? Fucking
No.
no. Not even close.
I remember when I first played the TMNT RPG, I played a porcupine because porcupines could pull their quills off and kind of use them as swords, and so he was a piratey rapier like using porcupine sword, and I was like, this is the stupidest shit in the world, but it was fun as hell.
I I would always fall back upon that in Rifts because you
Hmm.
got extra BioE if you're in Rifts because they wanted the character to be balanced with Rifts. So I had a mutant weasel with all the good stuff and the hugest physical prowess I could fucking end with, and I was a fucking wilderness scout, and it was super fun to a point. You know, I was gonna say some of those games, some of the we're bad mouthing Palladium. There's some of the games can be fun, but you really have to have a GM who's willing to just go with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mark Lavoie. It's some of those things were crazy, but it was just super fun. Like, and I've gotten to this point in role playing where like my PC stats are completely off the hook with our current game because we went like, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna label your stats how important they are, first, second, third, all the way down to sixth, and you're gonna roll a lot of dice. So you're most important. You're gonna roll 6 dice, keep 3. Then 5 dice, keep 3 for the next 2. 4 dice, keep 3 for the next 2. And the least important, you're going to roll 3 dice straight up. But all of them had reroll 1s, and some of them got really good rolls. But who cares, right?
You're heroes. You're
In a role-playing sim, your heroes, who cares? You can scale the things up, and if you seem exceptional, you should. You're the PCs. Every advantage makes it easier on the GM, because that way if he's a little over on how tough things are, you've got the stats to sort of maybe punch your way out. Maybe stat your way out. It's fine. It's super fun. You know, I honestly I hope against hope every time I see a new Palladium game that Kevin Ciambata has made a third edition, let's call it, technically be a fourth, and had really fix things to make them work better. Can someone get the meow for Gonzo? He took those ears off. That's not okay. But I hope that he fixes stuff. Like I've seen the revised riffs, and it's fine. It's still riffs. They added perception and shit. Thank you, Legion, my man. Put that shit back on, Gonzo. And it's fine. They added some stuff, but it's still not good. It's still got all the same problems. He needs a solid, good revision. And I feel for the dude because there have been some company problems that are completely not his fault. Like, I will take the guy to task because he thinks his shit don't stink, and I'm here to tell you it's a little stinky. But some of the problems he's had and probably prevented him from having the time to innovate is not his fault. I don't want to go into it. Let's just say Palladium Books, if you like their stuff, buy some of their stuff. They can always use the extra support. They've been doing it for a while. And if you've got the right group, their games are fine.
yeah.
I would never play it in a store with a random pickup group because that shit's not going to be okay. No, we're just talking about random stuff, Legion. We were talking about getting rid of stuff. We got the role-playing games, and I've gotten off on a tangent because I may be slightly drinking.
No, so
Understandably.
we were talking about because we're it's time for spring cleaning, and
Yeah,
we were
spring
talking
cleaning. Get
about
rid of some stuff.
getting rid of some RPGs, and I'm like, I've got quite a few RPGs that I can get rid of. I have no problem getting rid of them because I'm
But not the
done.
Turtles books.
No,
Not the Turtles books.
no,
And
nothing.
and honestly, if you have the Robotech books, keep those too. They have actual good source material, the original ones.
Oh yeah,
Because what happens is they have their conversions in the front and in the back of some of them, or if you've got the RF field manual for all of that Sentinels, invasion stuff, they have like the actual Japanese notes. Well, you can do a lot with that with whatever system you have because it starts giving you equivalents. Like, oh, hey, look, this gun's equivalent to this. And now, if you've got that gun in the system you're translating it to, you can start making equivalencies. You'd be surprised how easy it is once it gets going. Trust me, I know. I've done it for at least one system.
well, I mean, so I've got like a quite a few. I wouldn't say quite a few. Like 3 Genesis books of the Genesis system. I'm like, oh, I can get rid of those. I'm okay with that.
I'll keep those. That's a good game. That
Yeah,
game's got a lot of potential. I think you just need to work on it.
yeah.
In fact,
I
honestly, I would pick up the Android one, not the one based off their card game.
I have Android.
Yeah, I would pick that one up just before more source material. I honestly, the way we're playing our current game, I wish I had the time to really work on it in Genesis because I feel like this sort of Thunder the Barbarian thing would work well in Genesis because of the way things work.
Yeah, the
Granted, I also
fail
think it
up.
works well in fourth edition because at a certain point everything just becomes the power. Like, oh, you got an M16, here's the card, M16 power. Like, I like the way that works as well. Oh yeah, we started with minis Legion. So I mean, there's some potential there, but I think a lot of the games, especially role playing games, they don't take up a much space as a miniature game by any stretch.
Correct.
And honestly, bookshelves are kind of made for them because they're
Yeah.
books.
I'm not too worried about some of the books. Like, okay, I'm a huge Earth Dawn fan, and I own all the
Mm-hmm.
old FASA Earth Dawn. I could tell you what's in every single one of these books by the back of my
Yeah,
hand. But you know what I really want to do? I want to give them to somebody that's going to use them and enjoy them the way I did. I don't have
but
any
they
need
might
for them.
not. There might
They
not
might.
be that person anymore.
There might not be, but I'm okay if I let them go. I don't feel bad about letting them go.
I I would let them go to a person. I would never let them go. Like, so I gave away all my BattleTech stuff a very long time ago.
Hmm.
You know, we were getting a 40K. BattleTech wasn't working. When a buddy of mine moved, he expressed interest in them, so I gave him everything. I don't regret it at all because I gave it to him and he got the joy of it.
Yeah.
I'd poured over this book, read all that stuff. You know, it's all fine. I don't ever want to let anything that I actually like go to a random store. I'd rather find a person to give it to.
Yeah, this one I could see. Like, I'll probably go up on Facebook. Hey guys, I have this 99% completed selection of Vasa, Earth Dawn. I'm done. Anybody else want it? Because I have the new edition of Earth Dawn, and I would play that. But I could use, I know everything about it, and I got it, and I'm good. Does
Yeah,
anybody want this? Anybody
yeah,
want this?
I
I
agree
would
with
have
that.
it.
You know, I got a bunch of books of like. I mean, we mentioned back. I bought the anniversary of the West End Games Star Wars books
Oh yeah.
because it was cool.
Yep.
I'll keep those. I don't care. Will I use them again? Maybe. Maybe not. Who cares? Legion, if the 10 to 20 pots are still good, you keep them because they're still good. Because good paint is always. You never were like, this is the exact perfect shade for what I'm doing right this moment.
Oh yeah. Talking about
It's like
paints.
the role playing game. It's like having the book, like you said, those GURPS books. Like you have the right supplement. Like, oh god, I remember this thing. Steal everything from every book. As soon as you get system mastery in something, you can take something from any other book and translate it over to another game. You know, let's say you've got, I'll use Pathfinder. You got Pathfinder and you're playing D&D 5th now. You can translate that shit over. You know what you're doing. Like, yeah, like the D6 Star Wars is great. Is one of the best role-playing systems. I wish they'd had the ability to actually print a good big D6 system book. I have this. I used to have the small one. I don't know if I have it anymore. And you can find some of it online. But man, it's such a good system. It's got scaling. It's got everything. And honestly, I kind of wish, since the Mecton Zeta version of that game failed, I wish I'd tried the GW one. It might have lasted longer. It just, you know. But it's the thing. It's a constant trying stuff, seeing what sticks, what doesn't, even with what we're doing. But just having those books available to play, maybe it's got good source material. Old books, especially old books, fucking the bread and butter was going. Here's the source material you love. Uh, hey Valandar, here's the source material you love, and here's the stats for this game. And by giving you stats in a game where you've got some idea of what they mean, opens it up for every other game. And sometimes you're just like, oh crap, I can do this. You go over your bookshelf, you've got the right book, and that's great. But like Anzo said, sometimes you're just like, you gotta let it go. Oh, so Valandar just got back from the D&D movie Amazon Prime Video is showing, and it was solid. Only one minor pothole, no major ones, plenty of shenanigans, typical D party gets caught up in, and more. It's not this game, but it's good. Excellent. I appreciate to hear that, because me and my crew are going to go see that. Hopefully when it comes out, I might see it by myself opening night, though I really hate people, so I might take a half day that day. My boss might be upset, but I don't fucking care. But yeah, the reviews for that movie, and we're a little your early media section, but we'll talk about it since he mentioned it. The reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, not that I really care, but we're all very glowing. So
I think
super cool.
somebody made a post and we all joke about that. The movie looked like it's too much shenanigans and too much tomfoolery going on. I'm like, sir, you've never played D&D then.
Yeah, but have you played D&D? Shit goes off the rails. Like if you play a D&D game where shit does not go off the rails, then you're like, that's the oddity, not the other way around. No, it's not. You watching Amazon Prime? I think it was like probably an in-theater Amazon Prime related showing Legion. But no, funnily, my group's already canceled once on that because it's apropos. But yeah, so getting rid of stuff. I mean, you got to make the decision of how much space you have for the stuff you want to keep is. If your bookshelf's overflowing, then you got to make hard decisions. Like, do I need another bookshelf? Can I fit another bookshelf? Or do we need to get rid of games? Board games, too. You can't just keep all the board games and nothing else. Sometimes you got to get rid of even those. I know Gonzo got rid of a bunch, I want to say, a year ago-ish.
Oh, yeah.
You getting rid of a bunch? Yeah.
And there were ones that I was like, I'm never going to play this. This is stuff I've never even cared about. But got it because it was either cheap or I was interested. Yeah. And then it went out and it's there.
I still have 2 board games that I got from a Christmas thing at Games Workshop. And I ain't worked at Games Workshop in a hot minute. One of them, Formula Day, we played quite a bit of.
Oh, that's a good game.
They made Formula D for the U.S., but I saw Formula Day. We played the crap out of it, but if I had to give it to someone else, I'd be fine. And then I have Lord of the Rings Risk, which I have never played. I barely opened. Risk has too much of a bad taste in this area of the world, unfortunately, because a lot of us grew up on Risk, and Risk is not a great game. I'm here to tell you. It needs something. But, it's the kind of thing you decide, but they sit on a shelf in my closet. They don't really take up appreciable space, so I haven't gotten rid of them yet. Yeah. I also have an old board game called Alpha and Omega. You'll all have to look that up. I've played it twice. It's a space combat board game. But occasionally you just got to get rid of stuff, it is the way it is, Even my cousin, who was the biggest squad leader fan in the universe, eventually had to get rid of some of his squad leader because it took up too much fucking space. Granted, I believe he just got rid of all the duplicates of sets he had because he was a madman like that. But if you're not playing it much, though, granted, if he said, hey, John, come over for a weekend as squad leader, I'd try to make a weekend for squad leader. I think I still have the squad leader, not even advanced squad leader. He was an ASL guy. I think I have the starter box of squad leader because it came available and it was $20. I'm like, sure, I'll have squad leader for $20. This is a good game. Or stuff you have an attachment to. Like I have a box set of Renegade Legion Leviathan hanging out. Why? Because I fucking loved that game back in the day. Are we going to play it now? Probably not. But do I have a copy? It was $20 or something at the local gaming store because it was a used copy. Fucking A, I'll buy that. I have still Centurion, which is their ground-based version. I don't like Interceptor as much, though I have the new version of Interceptor sitting right over on the table over there. It was solid, but I haven't played it yet. At least it's got models, not just boxes. Though There's something about the old fold the boxes into the ships that was kind of cool.
Well, it's like talking about, going to the paints. Um, I'll be getting rid of a paint line, and not because I don't want it anymore, but I'll have something else, and I don't mind sharing, what I've got to help others. But there's one paint that I will never get rid of that Privateer Press has, and that's that. What's the name of that black? Coal gray, or not coal gray, but
Coal black.
coal
Yeah,
black.
yeah.
That right there, I've never
It's a
found
good paint.
never found a color that is like that. And
Spoiler:
I'm like,
Vallejo has one. You just have to go spend the time to find it, and that would take you some time. Why?
yeah,
Why when you can just go, I'll buy this one, rather than spending 20
yeah.
minutes looking for the right one in Vallejo.
Or I already have like a couple of bottles of it because I know I bought a couple of bottles. I'm like, the coal black is very, very good. It's got a good little
There,
bluish green tint to it that I really like.
there's a bunch I buy. There's two that I don't ever feel like I would find easy replacements for. Coal black's one of them, and then moldy ochre is just a good yellow that covers
Yep.
well. That I mean, I'm sure I could get a replacement for, but
If I
it
have
might
it,
be hard.
try it.
Yeah, I'll be going through my paints here soon too because I've got a bunch that I haven't looked at in a while. I'm sure they're done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Wrath Vallejo is much more internationally available, but I mean, why are you going to spend the time when you've got it right there and probably your local store has it? Or in my case, since I haven't gone to my local store in a while, it's a little out of the way. I instead just go to an online store. Hey, shockingly, it's kind of sideways a sponsor of us being Discount Games Inc. And I get them to send me the paints I need.
Yeah.
True. Like people say, I only use one paint range. I'm like, shame because you're hurting yourself. You need to pick and choose because, like, even if we get into the contrast style paints, the speed paint type things, um, one might be really good in GW and one might be really good in someone else.
Yeah. And
Just,
there's
just the vagaries of how it is.
there's a lot of companies getting into, and we call it the speed paint line or contrast paint line of stuff. And I use contrast paints for a lot of shading and shadowing and stuff now. If I'm not painting it strictly in contrast paints, and
Yeah,
I mean they work great for that. And
yeah,
I can't fault the contrast paint lines. They're really good. I mean, one of the
they,
new Mark IV Armies Dusk, I got the starter box, which is like two jacks and the caster, and I'm gonna paint it in all contrast paints, and it looks good as shit, and takes no time whatsoever to paint it up.
yeah. I mean, the only thing I feel like will probably be really hard to replace is GW washes.
They're good.
Citadel washes are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like I've used Army Painter, strong tone and dark tone and all that, and they're fine, but they just don't hit the same way. They're just a
No.
little bit off.
Yeah. I really like Agrath Earthshade. No oil. Solid
Fucking A.
stuff. I mean,
That
you can't beat it. I'm like, I don't like buying GW stuff, but
you,
those are stuff that you just can't get away with.
I don't mind buying their paints and stuff. They're a
Yeah.
little overpriced, but I mean, I don't think Agrax Earthshade's overpriced at all. I feel like you're getting what you pay for.
Yeah.
Fucking quality.
Agrath Earthshade, No Oil, and a few others that are in there that are really good. That are really
The
good
ones I'm
paint
going to
lines.
try is like the black contrast, the black speed paints for other lines because I use the black contrast Black Templar all the fucking time, and
Hmm.
because sometimes you just don't need it to be blackety black. You need just a shade off of that. So, I mean, also it's there's a lot of good uses for them. So yeah, you should look at all the paint lines, but you should be looking at your paints every once in a while too to see have I touched this paint in fucking a while? No, fucking just get rid of that shit or put it in another box. Keep it somewhere. Remember, when you're storing paints, where it's stored is important.
Yes.
You know,
Well,
so
I
make
mean,
sure you
and,
store it correctly. Like I bought a cooler bag. If you store it in a cooler bag, no matter how much hot or cold it gets, it'll probably be fine because it's not going to change the temperature appreciably in the cooler bag because it's a cooler bag. That's what it's designed for.
but there's also you got all if there's like a bunch of paints that you're not using or not going to use, there's always somebody that would enjoy those paint lines either for their kids or for themselves because they don't have the money to start up painting miniatures because it's expensive. Come on, guys.
Not cheap.
Paint lines are expensive. I mean, $400 for a paint line, $500.
You're not going to buy a paint line, though. Let's be honest. Let's be
Yeah,
honest. That is purely
correct.
frivolous. Like,
Yeah,
because you buy the paints you need as you need them.
yeah. And so if you give a decent amount of paints to somebody that doesn't have the money to buy a decent amount of paints, they're gonna probably be pretty
Yeah,
fucking happy with you.
it definitely help. Yeah, but like, Valandar the Red says the new remix washes from Zell are more like auto liners. Army Painter and Reaper's washes are more shading near the recesses. Also, there's a bunch of other types of paints that GW doesn't do, like the inks. Are they called inks? The Reaper ones? Hold on.
Oh yeah, the Master Series clears.
The clears, yes.
Yeah, the clears.
They are totally different than anything other people offer. So you need to learn. I need to learn how to use them more. But you really, they're totally different things. You need to look at them. So that's the kind of thing. But yeah, so with spring cleaning coming up, you need to look at that. And it's not just like, let's not just stop with that. Maybe you need to look at your novels. Maybe you need to look at your graphic novels. Maybe you look at your bookshelves entirely. Like, hey, is there something here I haven't touched or thought about touching in a very long time? Do I need to keep it, or can I donate it, or whatever? Remember, there's still libraries about. They love donations.
Yeah, and donate books. Don't throw them away.
No, I have a friend who's still looking to make the biggest library she can, so I just like, here's books. And she takes them home, and her boyfriend gets upset and like, fuck off. She wants books. She gets books.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm looking over at my shelves because I have two shelves over here, two metal shelves over here, and I'm like, it's time to purge.
Yeah,
And purge the correct way.
I got a bookshelf here and a bookshelf here. There's a bookshelf in the other room. I got stuff on my table here, board games and stuff. I can see four BattleTech box sets need to be put somewhere. G.I. Joe Mission Critical I haven't played yet. I've got downstairs. I've got the G.I. Joe card game and the Transformers card game. All that stuff needs to have space. CMO, and it's time to look to see make
Later,
space for
Mose.
that. Yes, Valandar. No one should ever tell you what the paints they should use. They can recommend, but paints that work for you and your style might not be the paints that work for someone else. Absolutely. But yeah, so, look at your stuff, see what you need, see what you don't. Talk to your local crew. Maybe someone needs what you got. Maybe someone has the space and can store what you got.
You got what I need.
You say I'm just a friend?
Yes. Yeah, there's just.
But yeah, it's that kind of thing. But I'm looking at it too with even something as tertiary like action figures. I've got maybe a little more than I can easily display, so start looking. I got a used action figures toy store around. Maybe I take some of the ones there I'm not ever going to look at again and do that. Maybe it's time to look if you need to upgrade one of them. We talked about that. I got Beta Ray Bill back here. Okay, grab him.
Beta.
They had a new version, and this is a great version considering he's fucking more than 20 years old. He's like 25 years old plus. They get a new version. Maybe just upgrade him. He's cool. He's really cool. He's got a good classic look, too.
Is that the one that you had to buy like a bunch of Marvel models to get Beta Ray because they had like a piece of Beta Ray in each box?
It was not a Build-A-Figure, no. This was straight up out of the Toys R Us in Annapolis, Maryland in a very long time ago. Last century.
I just remembered that there was at one point you had to buy all these Marvel figures
I don't
to
think
get
there was
a Beta Ray.
I don't think there was ever a Build-A-Figure Beta Ray Bill.
I don't remember. It's been so long. They don't do that much anymore.
I mean, it might have been, but I don't recall one. Nope, there was. It looks like there was from much more recent, maybe 5 years ago, and it's not good. It's not good at all. It's not as good as the one I have.
Oh, yeah. The Marvel Legends.
It's not too
sucks.
expensive, yeah. Yeah, it's like $30 ain't bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie, $30. But That is not even like half as good as the one I have now, and not even a quarter as good as the new one. I'll show you the new one when I get it. I did. Uh, Dan from Secret Galaxy, aka Toy Galaxy, did sell me on that. I don't think it was a Build-A-Figure. I think it was just a Beta Ray Bill, but he had like Hulk Build-A-Figure parts in him. It looks like.
Oh yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, the Dan from Secret Galaxy, usually formerly Toy Galaxy, sold me on the. They did a video on. He did part of a video on the new Beta Ray Bill, and he sold me on him, even though like I really liked it, but I didn't like the mohawk. It's a little out of place. It's not his classic look, but what the hell? It's Beta Ray Bill. I like Beta Ray Bill a lot. So there's some spring cleaning notes, but definitely before you just get rid of stuff, talk to your people locally. Maybe someone wants it, needs it, or even can store it. Like I said, my stuff's gonna go to my buddy Al Marshall. He'll keep it, and if someone comes and go like, hey, if we're playing a game and like, hey, I need to play X game, he'll be like, here are some models, go, enjoy.
Have fun.
We're not about necessarily selling everything. I mean, at the point most of the things we've gotten the joy out of. If it's not
Correct.
still sealed, I probably got some joy out of it.
Yeah, because there. I mean, like I said, there's a ton of things. Like I have some old dust models, old dust stuff. Ford. Want some dust models?
I have a dust model. It's an armored gorilla with a fucking autocannon. I will paint that thing. Maybe even soon. Remember we talked about that one with the guy, and I was like,
Yep.
I fucking have to have that model. I bought that model that day.
Yep. I mean, I have some old dust stuff that I never even played, never got a chance to play, and it was given to me, and like 2 months after or a month or so after it was given to me, they went under. So I know my friend Mr. Ford Fitch there likes Dusk, and I could give him some good stuff.
Dust is an interesting one because since it's owned by a person, it'll never go away completely.
Correct.
And we can always hope it comes back out and hits right. Because I like the idea of it. I've been following it for a while. I like the Weird World War II, and I like the idea of it in particular. So,
Yeah, but I mean, if I could give this to him and he can get some better joy out of it instead of
oh yeah,
collecting
absolutely.
Dusk, I'm more than welcome to do that.
Pun intended. I hope. Always intend your puns.
Always. So, hey, we want to go over to the media section since I didn't even paint since we were having too much fun talking.
I'm gonna tell you that this gin mule is very tasty and very refreshing. Like I can't even taste. It's really got gin in it. It's good. It's a little better than a vodka one.
I have a decent amount to talk about this week. Let me check. I texted myself and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not a lot to talk about because some of them's still going, but there. But we need to talk about the elephant in the room. There is an elephant in the room, and you and I talked about it a little bit before we started. Yeah, it's right behind you.
Willow?
Willow.
Okay.
So originally when it came out, originally we were told it was canceled.
Report. Arathu, I'm still working on it. I just bought gin last time. If you missed the pre-ramble or the earlier part of the story, this has been a fuck of a week for me. This is actually the first time I've really drank this week because I've been so down. I don't drink when I'm down because if I'm too down because it makes me even worse, and I'm not that stupid. So I will work on it. Don't you worry. It's still on my desktop saved as a recipe I need to look at. Anyways. Willow. Yeah, so reports early this week that it was canceled. And now, I think today-ish, I saw they're like, no, it's not canceled. We're just delaying at least a year.
They released them to do other projects in the meantime, is what was one of the things they said.
Yes, which means they're working on it probably. Now, Gonzo, I don't know if Gonzo agrees with me. I think that it's because they said they need 2 seasons to do the next story. And that's a tough sell for a middling popularity, and I'm willing to accept that it's middling popularity. Something like Willow. Not everyone got it.
Yep.
Remember, most of us watched Willow when we were much younger because that's when it came out. I felt like it hit about the same notes as it did when I was, in the original movie, and I watched it beforehand. but I enjoyed the crap out of it, and I hope to see they get another one. Warwick Davis needs all the work he can get because Warwick Davis is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I did not. Yeah, was there some cheesy stuff? Was it a perfect series? No. But was it fun? I had a blast
Yeah,
watching it. I had a good time. I liked the characters. I liked hating some of the characters too, because they were annoying little twats. And that's the best way
I
to
did
put it.
like how they ended that, with everyone getting. Yeah, I like that they ended the series. You could end it here, and we wouldn't be like, bring back Willow.
Yeah,
We'd want it, but it wouldn't be like to bring back Firefly.
correct.
We'd be like, we'd want to see more, but it is at a okay stopping point. But they did leave it open. So I'd love to see it get more, and I hope they do. Because they need to stop throwing shit at the wall and just seeing what sticks. They need to stick with something and let it get better.
Well,
Look at Picard. Like, apparently, and I'm not watching Picard yet, but I will. I'll watch season 3. The revisionist history is that many people didn't like season 1. False. It was actually pretty well reviewed.
it was good.
Many people didn't like season 2. True, from what I understand, it was
Nope.
not well reviewed. And then season 3 is fucking the best thing since sliced bread. You got to give the showrunners some times to get their fucking feet under us. The sad part is this is the last season of Picard.
Yep.
But you have to give the showrunners some times to get their feet under them. Yeah, you can't always afford all the time, but you can't just go one season and done. If you do that with all the series, you'll just be remaking shit.
And you're not going to have people subscribing to your channels.
No, because
Because they'll be like,
it's one
why?
season done.
Yeah.
They one season everything.
Well, I mean,
That's why even though I'm surprised the more recent Magnum reboot is still going, I'm pleased because that means that they gave it some legs. And a lot of it is us watching it, and I know a lot of us like to wait and then stream and get it all at once, but you have to do it within a certain time of the series, or the series is going to go away. Like Willow, if you hadn't watched it prior to them making the announcement, I mean, they're not counting the fact that you're going to view it later. They can't know that.
well,
You
and
gotta
they
watch
also
it soon
said that
after.
they're revising their programming. Like they're not going to be doing as many Disney Plus shows. Like they may do a made by Disney, but shop it out to another network. Also, that was one of the things that they were talking about is
I feel like
shopping
that's a
out
mistake.
shows out.
I
I
feel
think
like
so
Disney
too.
Plus lives and dies on the fact that there's just so much content coming out. I mean, sure, they may be like, well, everyone can't watch all the content. That's a good thing. It means we're not going to cancel your series, your system, your service. That's the word.
Yep.
One of those words. Because we've watched everything because there's so much to watch. I still have to finish Miss Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't finished it yet. I want to. It's just other things came up, and I don't always have that set time in a week if things go nutty. You have to really earn it, like Mandalorian. Really earned it. Continues to earn it.
But I mean that's something they said because there was a lot of Disney shows that are
Yeah.
getting canceled. That are the last show or
And
last
some
season.
you're not surprised, like
Yeah.
National Treasure didn't really have any oomph to it. They didn't really advertise it well. You don't see any of the people coming back. Sometimes things don't hit well. But they need to do more of that. There's too many. First season comes out, it's great. They do second season, it's a little underwhelming, and they cancel. Look at Altered Carbon. There's a ton of books that could be fun to keep going,
Oh yeah.
but the second season just hit a little bit, didn't hit as well as the first one. They're like canceled, and now you get on that sort of topic. You get the showrunners complaining that the actors portraying the characters are too into the characters and are being rude to the writers when they write stuff that's not in character for the character. Hey, they're fucking actors. It's their fucking job. If you write something bad, they're supposed to say, like, this isn't appropriate for the character as we're portraying them. Like the revisionist thing where fucking, oh, we didn't like working with Henry Cavill because he's too excited to play Geralt. There's no such fucking thing as too excited to play somebody.
Yeah.
That person's giving it their fucking all. It means your writers are fucking shit, and they need to fucking get their shit together and work with him.
Yeah.
I watched the media. I watched part of a podcast with Michael Jai White just because I've seen something recently. It's coming through my Twitter feed where he's talking about making The Dark Knight because he was in a couple scenes of The Dark Knight with Christopher Nolan, and he would come in and go, and he's not like top tier actor by any stretch of the imagination. He knows this. He going like, hey, all my dudes have European accents and I have an American accent. Do you want us to try and all sound similar? And he's like, I don't know. What do you think? Like, that's a fucking great director. Like, even if it's relatively early in his career, he's going, these guys have brought up a point. Let's talk with them and see what they think about this, how we can make this work. That's how you fucking make a movie, how you fucking make media. You talk together, you brainstorm. Not always going to be right, but at least you're hearing different views. If you're so stuck on your view, put that shit back on. Jesus Christ. Someone fucking make you put that shit back on. Actually, you know what? 906, you don't have to at this point. I'll keep mine on because he's a slacker. But, you know, sometimes you're not going to be great, but just hearing different views means you're not stuck in your ways. And I suggest that in all things, since I'm going to get a little rant here, since Jonzo started it, I'm going to say. You can't just be stuck in one viewpoint of anything. You've got to keep some of those opposing opinions around in all of your life. So that way you can experience new things and not get stuck in a fucking echo chamber. And I think some of these shows are getting stuck in an echo chamber of good versus bad when it's not that. You know, if you're getting there and you're watching, say, an Andor, and everyone tells you it's the best thing since sliced bread, and someone says, you know, I thought it was well made, but I didn't really like it that much. And you just block that guy, you're just getting an echo chamber. You're not going to get an opposing viewpoint to challenge you. And that's going to be difficult. It's going to stagnate you in whatever venue that is. I actually had a discussion like that on Twitter earlier today where I said, wasn't really my thing. Didn't enjoy watching it at that point. Never said it was bad. In fact, it was very well crafted, very well acted. But I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think it was very Star Wars. But, so, end of the rant. Watch the stuff on the streaming service. If it's something you like and you want to see more of it.
Yeah. I mean, going back to you were talking about Picard.
Yeah.
And there's a few of us at work that watch it, and of course we watch it, you know, on Wednesday night and stuff. Season 1, good Star Trek. Season 2, bad Star Trek. Season 3, good Star Trek again. Goes back to the roots. I really like it. There's actually talks of a Worf spinoff, because I guess he's doing and I'm like,
They need
okay.
to throttle back on that. I still haven't seen the Giorgio spinoff, Section 31.
Yeah, or whatever that is. Yeah, they're...
And that's another good one. Think about, so we'll go into what we would comment on. The middle part of this week's Mandalorian was reportedly actually unused stuff from the canceled Rangers of the New Republic series. That's what the general consensus is. Why it's so far afield. It's something they were going to have go in another series and intersect back in with Mandalorian. But since that series is no longer going to happen, they put it in here. And I'm here for it. I still thought it was good. I'm intrigued to see where it goes, even though I like the beginning and end of the episode much more.
Correct, I did
and where that Mandalorian's going in general. But I like that. They need to stop announcing all these series and then just not delivering.
Well, there's no official announcement.
Excited.
Yeah, there's no official announcement. People are like,
they officially announced it's gone. They said it. Like Kathleen Kennedy said it. Yeah. She's already said it. Yeah, it's gone.
But
they kept it quiet because it makes them sound like fucking liars, which they are.
And we
know why it is, because Gina Carano was going to be one of the main characters in it, and she is persona non grata, understandably.
Yeah, because there was also talk of people are like, I'd really like to see a Titan spinoff, which is the Commander and 7 spinoff, and I'm like,
is where they should go. That is a good idea for Star Trek. That is Star Trek quantity. Worf is not. I love Worf. Worf has got way more legs than anyone thought he did after watching the first season of Star Trek Next Generation. Him get his ass whooped by everyone. But he's grown to a great character. I love Michael Dorn. I like Worf, but I don't feel like a series based around him is going to have any legs.
I don't think so either. Now, limited series? You give me a limited series, like one season?
Maybe.
To let him tell a story? I could go with that.
Or a couple episodes here or there.
Yeah.
What happened to one-offs? Can't you do like an hour-and-a-half episode that's a one-off, tells a story, intersects with something, maybe not, and then go on your way? We talked about this a little beforehand. The BBC way of doing it, where they go like, we're going to do a series. How many episodes? Many as we fucking want. After that, we'll stop and we'll do more later if we want to.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that. Technically, Sherlock's still on, even though they haven't done anything in a while. I mean, they just could decide to make another series. They need to do more of that. Just make it as long as it needs to be. Just do some stuff and go.
Yeah, but I mean,
Anyways,
so the new season of Picard. I'm enjoying it. Not a problem. Very good Star Trek. Very
my
fun.
list.
Yeah. John, do you have one, or do you want me to go with some other ones?
I have three.
Okay. I'm going to
Uh,
talk
for
about something real quick. Gonna get it out of the way. So I was watching a show on Netflix called Outlast. It is a survival show, and all it is they drop these people off and they say, "Hey, you have to survive in the wilderness for a certain amount of days, and whoever's lasted wins the money. But you have to do it in teams,
sounds similar to something you used to watch.
alone." Um,
That's one.
yeah, but this one says you have to be in teams, and you can't be by yourself to win. Um, they kind of let them go pretty wild in this one. There was no rules to the game besides survive. Um, so people were raiding camps and stealing people's shit. And there were some really shitty people in this. And I mean, really shitty people. And I'm like, there
Uh,
is stealing people's sleeping
uh,
bags when it gets down below freezing. That's a pretty shitty thing
uh,
to do.
that's why you don't say no rules when money's on the line.
Yeah. And money was on the line.
It's like getting in a land war in Asia.
Yeah. It is bad. Was it interesting? It was okay. Do I recommend watching it? No, but if you want spoilers and see some people get their fuck around and find out, yeah, I'll tell you what it is. But I won't spoil it. But I watched that. So go ahead with yours right now. There's no rating on it because it's a reality show type thing.
I'll get the important ones out of the way. I watched John Wick because hey, I want to watch all the three movies before I see the fourth.
Woo.
So I watched John Wick Part One, and while I could nitpick a couple parts of it, I don't feel like I need to. I've seen the movie enough that I understand there's always some nitpicky stuff. That's all there is. That movie's still a fucking mastercraft. It is great action, simple but efficient characterizations, character actors giving their all in their fucking roles, no matter how short a time they have on it. You're looking at John Leguizamo, who's fucking just giving it all in the short couple periods he's there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the good act, Willem Dafoe being great as usual, Ian McShane, just all the actors being great in their roles. Keanu, putting in the work to make himself believable as John Wick, starting the creation of a cool universe. I mean, it's a zero. No shockers there, but it can't be said how much it changed action movies.
Oh yeah.
Because prior to this, the Bourne, I've seen some clips of this on YouTube. The Bourne shaky cam, it seems so terrible after watching a John Wick. You're like, look at all this shaky cam bullshit.
Yep.
Like you can't appreciate the action, and I know that's not necessarily the point of that movie. It works for those, but man, in John Wick, you can appreciate the action and the craftsmanship they're putting into all the action scenes because there's no shaky cam. It's just great, and don't kill the dog. Don't ever kill the dog. It's a mistake. Why do you fuck with John Wick? More on this later. Zero. It's still great. Watch it whenever you want. It's just a good fucking movie. And technically a movie that could be done in one, but there are sequels. More on that in a little bit. Go ahead, Kamsa.
So Mayor of Kingstown just finished. And it's a series, Jeremy Renner and everything, where he plays an in between the bad guys and the cops who try to keep the town safe. So so on and so forth. I really like this show. It's one of those dirty cop TV shows because he's not a cop, but he's dirty because he's trying to keep the police from doing bad shit, trying to keep the bad guys and the gangsters from doing bad shit, trying to keep the peace in the town, but also trying to be a good guy. And he has to do bad guy things to be a good guy. And I really like this series. If you're watching Mayors of Kingstown,
I've heard good things.
yeah, it's good. It's good, solid. Good acting, good characters, good fun. You don't fuck with people in this one. Like, you don't fuck with Mike. You don't fuck with the mayor.
Maybe expect a delay before the next season comes out.
Yeah, there is that. Hopefully, Jeremy will be able to do it. But it was
Hopefully
really good.
recovers.
Yeah.
He's underrated.
Oh, very much
I
so.
saw last week. I saw him in SWAT, and he wasn't amazing, but he was good and solid. He's definitely an underrated actor.
He's really good in American Kingdom. He is the lead actor in it, and he's just got some good scenes and good things. And you're always like watching it. It's like the John Wick thing. You done fucked up. You fucked with something that the mayor told you not to do. Now you got to pay. So highly
Yep.
recommend it. I give it probably about a 1 space herpy, but still solid.
My second, unsurprisingly, is John Wick Chapter 2.
What?
Yeah, I know. Almost like I'm watching them all before the new movie comes out.
Shocker.
Honestly, if there ever's been a movie that takes what was in the first and just makes it bigger and better in mostly the right ways, it's John Wick Chapter 2. The action's still great, still no shaky cam. A little weird at points. They could be a little more upfront with what they're doing with people. I would suggest this is one where really just watching the everything great about afterwards, because the guy goes into a lot of ideas in the movie of why people are acting the way they are when it seems a little weird. Like, I feel like it was a criminal underuse of Ruby Rose, who is an enjoyable actress to watch in a movie. She's got a lot of charisma. But making her a mute bodyguard / assassin was a mistake, because I don't know why they did that, but I think they had a role and they got her for the role, and she worked, but I feel like you could do so much more. And he actually even brings a point about her that is worth looking into more. Like, there was some more background with her character that you really have to look for subtext to make that work. But if you're looking at the foretext, great movie, good action. Why do people keep fucking with John Wick? Why would you do this? Like, I don't care how much the bounty on John Wick is. Not it. Not fucking it.
Nope, not today.
Yeah, nope, not today. Baba Yaga, off limits. Nope, sir, go on your way.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that money because it's not going to matter. But again, it does all the things the first movie did, just does them better, bigger, goes a lot more into the background. And honestly, as you make their world bigger, parts of it start to become potentially nitpicky. But you don't worry about that. You have to watch this movie a lot before you're worried about the nitpickiness of it. And even then, I still don't generally. I go like, I could nitpick that, but I'm too confused by the movie to fucking care. Again, all the character actors are doing a great job. Ian McShane back. Lance Reddick, who we mentioned, is in both these movies, doing a great job in both of them. Not great role, not great amount of screen time, but doing the best with what he's got. Common is in this. Robert Common, he's great, and he's actually been good in all the movies I've seen him in. He's especially good in this. Believable, enjoyable. Lawrence Fishburne, fucking chewing scenery. That's just his fucking strength. Enjoyable as crap. Zero. Shock.
Shocker.
Spoiler.
Shockers.
When we come back and I get to John Wick 3 and 4, likely to both be zeros. Not that I've seen John Wick 4 yet, but likely to be a zero, let's be honest. But zero. Enjoyable. Watch it. I bought the collection of all 3 on Blu-ray and don't regret it at all. Even if we have to have a 4th one at some point, maybe even a 5th, I don't care. Keep going. Still not going too far crazy, unlike certain series, Fast and Furious, which go completely off the fucking chains. Gonzo, what you got?
So The Last of Us finished last week. I'm going to say this.
Good.
Dude, they adapted the video game perfectly. They included stuff that wasn't in the video game that didn't distract from the story. It enhanced the story. But this is a show that you better be prepared for your feels. This rides the emotion wave, and it's meant to. This show is meant to. The video game, when I first played it, and when I was done, I cried. I mean, so this is not something that you're going to, oh, this is okay, and blah 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 blah. You're going to get the feels from this no matter what. So you have to be prepared.
Let me give you the idea from my buddy the Jason, who talked about it to me at lunch Saturday. And he didn't like the video game a lot. He's a video game guy, a connoisseur. He's like, it's middling to solid, but I didn't really grab me. He fucking loved the series, thought it was great.
Oh yeah.
So you don't have to enjoy the video game by any stretch to just like the series.
No, I have plenty of people that are watching it that have never played the video game, and they're like, this is some damn good TV. And I'm like, yeah, it is. This is some damn good one. But it is a show, and the show is not about the zombies. The show is not about the post-apocalypse. It's the story of humanity and people in it. It's a story of what
So you're
people
saying
are
it's
like.
not enough to survive. It's about being worthy of survival.
Yes, it is.
Thank you,
Man,
Battlestar Galactica. Again, as I always say when it comes to this thing, I stick with Battlestar Galactica. I don't need any more of the humans fuck each other over in the post-apocalypse.
I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for season 2. I really loved it. There was
People are
some.
already like fan casting Abby, I think her name is, for season 2. Like, you got to get this person, this person. Like, that's when you know a show is hit well, when people are fan casting for the next season of a slightly more grown up version of a character.
Yeah.
Interesting
Well,
to see.
what's interesting, what I really like what they did is they did incorporate voice actors that were in the video game into the show. I'm not going to do
Awesome.
spoilers, but behind the scenes, the clickers that they used were the actual people they use in the video game. So I was like, that's cool. There are certain voice actors that are inside the video game that you don't know about, and I'm like, that's even cooler because they gave them that. I mean, that's
There's
someone
nothing
that
as cool as getting a voice actor into an actual live action.
yes,
Apparently, they did that in the Flash stuff. They had Kevin Conroy play one of the Batman that they went in the Crisis on Earth, which sounds awesome. I wish I was into it at that point, but awesome that he got a chance to do live action Bruce Wayne Batman because he fucking deserved it.
yeah. But I mean, this one was super solid. I know a lot of people complain that there wasn't enough zombies in it, and I go, I get it, but
But
the
if the
story
point is not the zombies, then
correct.
that's actually the right action.
Because you
Yeah.
couldn't do a 1-for-1 of the video games because you would spend too much time fighting off zombies,
Yeah.
type thing. You just need them enough there to go, oh crap. So I really enjoyed it. It's one of my top shows. Zero Space Herpes for me, by the way. I can't wait for
Oh, yeah.
season 2. I don't know when we're going to get it. Could be a year, could be 2 years. Don't know, but I
Yeah.
enjoyed the shit out of it.
Rumor has it Pedro Pascal, he's busy because he's a good actor.
I like the meme of Pedro Pascal carrying this big heavy weight, and one side is Disney Plus, the other side is HBO Max.
Though, funnily, both those services, I feel like it's not even remotely true, but I enjoy the meme.
Yes, but yes, Art of Michael. When there was zombies, it was a big deal. Stuff, but I enjoyed it. Had a great time with it. John, do you have one more?
I started watching The Expanse season 6. I know I'm behind, but it's me. That's
Gotcha.
my MO. First episode, I liked a lot of it, but I didn't like part of it. We'll see how it goes. I feel like it felt a little more negative than normal stuff, but it might just be the first episode. Still going to watch the whole season. Need to get done with it so I can move on to the next thing, which is either going to be Picard season 3 or Ted Lasso. But enjoy The Expanse overall. I want to see how it ends. I want to read the books, but man, finding the time for all that's difficult.
John, if I could recommend anything for you to watch right now, it is Ted Lasso.
Yeah, but I got to find a whole service for that, so we'll see.
So the new
Also-
season started up of
Yeah.
Ted Lasso. I don't care what anybody says. This show, the writing on this show is meant to make you smile and be happy and feel faith in humanity again. Because that's what Ted Lasso is. Ted Lasso is a person that is got problems, has issues, but always looks on the bright side of life. And the lines they write for this and everything, you just can't help but smile and laugh and be happy with this show. I watched this first episode of the new season and man, it was good. It was great Ted Lasso stuff because you can see they're in the story they're trying to change Ted Lasso to do something, and Ted Lasso is like, no, I'm going to be who I am, and this is who I am, and it's just solid. It is a very good feel good series. You walk away smiling after every episode.
Well, like I said, it's on my list.
I highly recommend it. If you're
It's
not
high
watching
on my
it,
list.
if you're not watching it, watch it. Start on episode 1, go through it. It's on Apple TV Plus or Apple TV, what do you want to call it? And it's a
Yeah, Apple
great,
TV.
solid show. Start watching it, 100%.
Yeah. Well, so it's on my list. Uh, that and I think, like I said, I went and finished Expanse season 6. Then either Picard season 3, which might get the nod just because it's going to be one season of stuff rather than 3 seasons of Ted Lasso.
Yeah,
But if so, it'll be that then Ted Lasso. And movie wise, I have 2 movies loaned from a coworker, and then after that, I want to watch the entire Rocky and Creed series because they're all available, and I want to get them while the getting's good. So try to make an effort to watch more movies. I've been sitting around staring at YouTube videos, which is not necessarily bad, but it's a lot of clip watching rather than movie watching.
yeah.
But some movies are like that. Some movies are just clip movies.
I also started Shadow and Bones, which season 2 on Netflix. Season 1 was okay. Season 2 seems to be all right. I'm only like 2 episodes in. I mean, they're hour-long episodes, so I have to commit more time to it. And I'm just like, whew. But it hasn't grabbed me like season 1 did, so I'm just waiting for it. I know, but I mean, there was a big break between the series too. So I mean, that's
Yeah.
beginning
Well,
of
there's
COVID
something
type thing.
ephemeral about grabbing you. Like I would say that the first episode of Expanse season 6 didn't grab me like a lot of the others did. So there's that. But that's something we have to keep in mind of. And that's a hard part about making series in today's day and age is that if something doesn't grab somebody, do they continue to watch it?
Yeah,
You know?
and if you don't, it could go away.
Even Stranger Things went into that. I haven't seen all of the last season because the first episode was good, but didn't grab me the way the other seasons had. Especially the early seasons. Their season, you watch the first episode, you're like, fucking A, where's the next episode? Let's go.
Yeah, I'm in.
I mean, and that's going to happen with any series. It becomes old hat, whatever. Maybe it's just not right for you. Maybe it's not right for you at the time. You know? And you got to watch that. You got to know your own mental state is going to affect what you want to watch. Sometimes you just want to watch that stuff that's comfort because you don't need any big surprises. You need something stable because you're just in that frame of mind. Maybe you need something happy-go-lucky. Maybe you need something a
You
little
need Ted
darker.
Lasso.
I mean, maybe you need Ted Lasso.
Maybe you need Ted Lasso in your life.
Maybe you need to watch all your comfort movies. Sometimes
Yes.
that happens. I
Oh,
watched
100%.
SWAT last week. Maybe I need to watch The Replacement Killers and Shooter. This is the extent of my usual action, uh, guilty pleasure. Go. Hackers. They hack. There you go. Maybe you need to watch Hackers.
Hack the planet.
Just find that thing. Maybe you need to watch just some comedy. You gotta understand your mental state and watch stuff that helps your mental state.
Very much so.
If something's feeling negative, put it aside. Don't judge it like that was shit. I'm not in the right frame of mind for that. Holy shit, a Bowie sighting. Hey, Bowie.
Hey, Bowie.
I rewatched Star Trek Into Darkness recently. That movie still sucks and disappoints me. I would say go watch the Everything Great About, but you just like that movie enough, maybe you shouldn't. It's okay. Just watch the one after it, because Star Trek Beyond is fucking great. I love Star Trek Beyond. Anyways, I like that you show up right in time for us to get done. Sorry, but
Damn the rules.
yeah, what can I do?
John, who should we raid tonight?
Pirate Club's on. Pirate Club.
Oh, okay. Guys, we will not be on next week. I will be at Adepticon unless John wants to jump on and do some streaming, gaming or whatever. But it's all up to
Very
him.
unlikely given the way my life has been recently, but I will consider it.
Yeah. But we will not be doing a podcast next week. I'll be at Adepticon. If you're coming to Adepticon, please come and say hi to me. I have no problem. May have a little gift for you if they do. But guys, please take care of yourself. Please watch after each other. Please watch after everybody else also, because sometimes
Yes.
people don't.
Check on your
know around.
friends. Even if you think they're strong and good, check on them anyways.
Always.
With the two people passing, I checked on Marshall, who knew one of them, and my buddy Norin, who knew both of them, just to make sure they were good.
Yeah.
Because you never know. Even the
Oh.
strong people need help once in a while.
Even the funny people. Even the silly people. Rest in peace.
Even the emotional support humans need people once in a while.
Guys, please take care of yourself. Please take care of each other. We love you. We miss you. We'll see you as soon as we can. For More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
Good night.
Good night.
Raid incoming. Please hit that raid button.